Shabbat Shalom. This week's Parsha of Parshat Vaethanan, the second Parsha of the book of Dvarim, begins another speech by Moshe, preparing our ancestors for entry into the land of Israel. And as Moshe is rehearsing things which happened to them in the wilderness, he focuses once again on the great sin of Baal Peor, of the orgy that took place with the Midianites in the wilderness. And Moshe says, you saw with your own eyes what God did to those who participated in this idolatrous orgy with the Midianites. And then he says a verse which we use liturgically. He said, Va'atem hadvekim ba'aronai elechem chayim kolchem hayom. And he said, and you who have clung to the Lord your God are all living today. And in its original context, Deuteronomy means that literally. Those who participated in the idolatrous, orgiastic worship of Baal Peor were killed in a plague. Those of you who clung to God are still alive. But a beautiful comment by the author of the Kanfei Nisharim, Rabbi Abraham ben Eliezer Lichtenstein, who flourished in Poland at the end of the 18th and beginning of the 19th century, begins his comment on this verse by saying, some people believe that dvekut, this joining, union, communion with God, is impossible in this world and in this life. That as long as our souls are in our bodies, there will always be this separation between us, who are creatures, who are physical beings, very limited, and the infinite who has no body. And that only in Olam Haba, in the world to come, will our soul then unite with the soul of all being, with God. And the Kanfei Nisharim says, Va'atem hadvekim ba'aronai elechem chayim kolchem hayom. That when the Torah tells us that it is possible to cling to God, to have dvekut, chayim kolchem hayom, while you are living. And that ultimately is the goal of all religion. And it is very much the goal of Judaism and a life of Torah. Judaism is not just about going through the actions of doing mitzvot, of focusing on specific behaviors, but rather using those behaviors as the gateway of having this intimate bond with God, this relationship of dvekut, that if understood properly, we don't have to wait until our lives are over. But now, today, with the proper intention and learning and piety, we can have an intimate relationship with God like no other. And so we use this verse in the introduction to the beginning of the reading of the Torah. The Gabbai, calling up the first Aliyah, ends the paragraph, and everybody in shul says together, Va'atem hadvekim ba'aronai elechem, and you who cling to God, chayim kolchem hayom, you are alive in this moment, today. So on Shabbat morning, when we read in shul the Torah, let's hear these words anew. The whole experience of Torah reading in shul is to bring us back to that moment at Sinai, when God said those words, which we read again tomorrow. It's Parshat Vaethanan. Anochi Adonai Elohecha. I am the Lord your God, who delivered you from Egypt. Atem Hadvekim ba'Adonai Elohechem. You can achieve that. You can cling to God and experience dveikut. May it be so. Shabbat Shalom. May you have a Zis and Shabbos, and I'll see you in Shul.